Okay. Again, I'm just going to keep doing these because it's just the record's got to get out there, and I don't care if anyone sees them. I'm just getting the record out. Continuing. This is a letter October. This is the 3rd October missive. So if you're picking up in the middle of the game, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Bad for you. Continuing. Don't get me wrong here, Jim, or misunderstand what I'm suggesting. No court in the world would ever consider me a viable witness or credible source for any of these contentions. But I'm sure there are enough lawyers out there that something along those lines could get fabricated into a 3-piece lawsuit against any or all key participants. If charges are never brought up on Bob, we'll see who sues whom first. Certainly a lot of slander and libel stuff on record about allegedly innocent people, both ways. Conversely, I've done something wrong. If I've done something wrong, I certainly wish I knew what it was or is. This is where it's like dealing in serious stuff if, not if, they are. Filing a false police report is all I can think of, but the redundant nature of that suggestion would be too entertaining to entertain. Ha ha ha, redundant. Obstructions of justice certainly can be considered, as lies escalate and appear to be overflowing on the bad guy's side. My guess is yours, as I'm going crazy trying to figure out how all this is going to end. As a result, I've decided to continue writing about what happened just for the hell of it, coming up with a final solution for myself, let alone others, while waiting for the conspirators on the Stayskull's defense team to do anything to get the crazy story back on track is beginning to take its toll. I should probably be writing my will. I was beat, folks. I was exhausted. Oh, I was exhausted. But I had my little friend in Chicago that was mentally keeping me alive or awake or whatever thing, because I thought she was the reason all this was being done for. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Beginning of the 3rd quarter, dude. Beginning of the 3rd quarter. You think you're behind by a couple touchdowns? I get down, I'll just spoil alert. We're at the beginning of the 3rd quarter, and I get so far behind in the game, I throw a Hail Mary and think I'm going to kick a 74-yard extra point. But we do go into overtime, folks. Somehow, it's coming. Anyway. Okay, here's another storyline for the Stayskulls. For my entire life, not only have I been writing a script for Comedy Central, I'm trying out to be a method actor. I was about to use the old attempted suicide and blame it on a hired assassin who poisoned me scenario when I realized I could pin it on Bob after going crazy once again. That's what they kept saying. They said I'm making all this up to make a movie or something because I told them I was writing a book about it. So I was like, okay, I'll call your bluff and say I'm going to make a movie. Or they said, because I was writing about it, I said, I'm going to make a movie out of it. Oh my God. I am getting woozy. Plus, I get to blame all my problems on everybody else, saying that that's what they say I'm saying. Foil the luck. The inconsistency between this time in 2002 being my head getting fried by drugs would ruin most of the details of that allegation. By the way, it's not like I haven't heard that one before, meaning I've heard them. So I know their little playbook is tiny compared to what I come up with. This is where I get creative. I do certain things. Maybe I should go paranoid in the process, only adding to their storyline. Maybe they'll call suicide hotline after convincing people I'm suicidal. Oh, because that's exactly what they did. And I forgot. I really haven't looked at this letter. I mean, I did afterwards, but I told them what to do. Oh, God. Anyway, spoiler alert. Oh, I just got flush. Gee. Spoiler alert. They've tried that already and failed. Well, they tried again and it worked. Okay, when I threw that letter out at Miles, I just blew up. hung up on him, and then all of a sudden I get a call 10 minutes later. This is Suicide Hotline. We just wanted to verify that the party at this phone number is okay. Who am I speaking to, please? Brian. You have a family that loves you dearly, and we just want to make sure that you're okay. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And that's me talking back to the Suicide Hotline. Are you kidding me? They called you up. I'm fine. Well, sir, a lot of people call up and then they realize what they've done. Are you sure you're okay? Look, lady, I don't care what they said. I'm fine. And then I get belligerent to some extent because I'm all hopped up after my father hung up on me. Then all of a sudden out of the blue, I get a call from Suicide Hotline because I know what they're doing. We're concerned about our son. We don't know what to do. Can you guys just, because they're biting down their heels. I'm digging in my heels. Let's go. The old George, you want to go crazy? I'll go crazy on you to Susan's parents. Oh, my Lord. This was real life, though. It wasn't a movie. But the thing is, I tried to create a movie, and then I ended up being in my own movie, not realizing I gave them the script. Oh, God, this is so funny. 10 years later. So this is, 2000, or 10 years ago now. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Maybe this should be part of the science fiction section of my life. I just can't keep up with stupid these days. Oh, I'm getting woozy. Yeah, so I had a whole thing with them being planet stupid. Hell, Devil with the Blue Dress. Can't be unhappy when you hear this song. Demons, stay away. Hell. That's funny. Hell, now, what would I think about it? Oh, hell. Now that I think about it, the reality is I couldn't even write a will and testament for Comedy Central right now. Sound, mind, and body? I assure you, with all the orthopedic surgeries as a result of Miles Stayskull beating the shit out of me as an infant in early childhood, plus my brain getting fried as a result of a drug interaction stroke, how the hell could I write a will? I have nothing. The Frobergs and Stayskull certainly won the money game and broke me in the process. Meaning, you guys, this is what's going on. And when we go to court, you have to explain why you did nothing when you got this letter. Even if I'm an imbecile and batshit crazy, why did you not call him and find out what's going on? And my whole thing was, why didn't anyone do anything? Why? Maybe they did, but no one told me. No one called me in this. One letter from Jim saying, basically, just get your shit together, dude. Moreover, Michelle's the one who can pull the plug on this house as she pays the bills until the foreclosure is complete. I guess she was. Or when she decides to completely cut me off. She was not paying I don't know what's going on there. I didn't think she was paying the bills. I don't know. Maybe she was. Oh, she cashed. Okay, that's just needless pandering on my part. She cashed in finally got my taxes. Oh, that's another thing. We'll see how I am on time. I'll probably forget, but, the whole tax thing. Well, I gotta say it now. Okay, so she cashed in like $4,300 IRS check that finally came through, but I am getting dizzy. We hired... No, there's two. No, not now. There's like 3 layers of setup for that. I'll tell it later. Pay the bills. So Mickey is paying my bills. I wouldn't blame her if she did it tomorrow. I don't know what it is. She's broke as it is and isn't getting any help from her family. So Mickey's family cut her off again. So I'm staying in this house as I have nothing in Chicago. Well, I was lying. Your response letter to the ARDC, meaning I know what you have on file, gave me great insight to the communication that exists between Bartlett and Pentwater, and it parallels the disassociation I'm sure Michelle has felt with her family her entire life, meaning she's been cut out. Nothing new there, but she's the one that could really use the support one way or another. Hopefully in that, I didn't get all the inflections right, but I'm letting him know I'm concerned about Mick because she's out left adrift because her family abandoned her And whether she went into this thing with her father or not, or what, she's left adrift. And I'm concerned about her, because she couldn't maintain, well, obviously, well, I presume she did, but she ended up getting remarried. Enough about that. I was trying to show I had concern about Mick. On a different note, the major contradiction in terms of your Jim's services is this. I never received a copy of your time records and final billing statement. If I read my initiation letter to you correctly, where I requested your services on a carte blanche basis, technically speaking, you could still be working on this case for me. The conflict remains, which prompted me to file a complaint with the ARDC, was that it was my understanding that you fired me. Michelle stated this during one of her violent outrages, where she had been known to say things out of spite, which were meant only to hurt at the time, but in fact were not true. Meaning, she told me that Jim thought I was batshit crazy and to leave him alone. Mickey told me that Jim wanted nothing to do with me, so I didn't know what was going on with Jim. So I was trying to find out from him what was going on. But I don't know if Mick made that story up or not, because she yelled at me for, why am I including Jane's family? I said, I haven't done anything with them yet. But in the end, police were, so something was going on, but no one came to me to let me know what was going on. Oh. Continuing. Maybe submitting a statement indicating your T&M to include any phone conversations last year will resolve many outstanding items while quelling some speculations and disputed time frames. Meaning, Jim, everything that you've got yourself into a pickle about, you could still turn all that around saying you're collecting evidence from everyone that's saying I'm crazy. And at this time, if you don't know that I'm saner than anything and just going along with this batshit crazy stuff for the hell of it, then you could say that you're collecting all this stuff for me, for a trial, you're back on my side, you've got the protection of the Frobergs, you've got the protection of Mick, and we'll just take Mike Miles to court. That's what I was trying to impress Jim upon, and I hope that's the way it's reading to you. So I wanted Jim to be on my side, or at least like, wake up, bud, dude, whatever, come on. I'll protect you. You could exactly what I was having him do with my friends, saying hire them and then you can protect them. If they need extra counsel, I'll pay for it, because I had a 75, potentially 100,000 plus job that I wanted to get back, and I'd pay that off for the rest of my life to get justice, because that's my justice, not God's justice. I got to take a brief time out. Hold on. Okay. And again, I'm hoping this kills a lot of birds with one stone, because it's kind of witnessing to all the things that have been said so far. Okay, quite possibly this is what motivated me to write that scathing letter to you at the end of December last year, knowing full well the predicament I was facing regarding the driving situation and reinstatement of my driver's license. Meaning the little story I'd set up about calling on my friends to let them know they're okay if they tell Jim about what my family said about me, and then protect them, but get their statement. Oh, I know it is, but you certainly can't prove it in court, meaning the whole thing was about my license. In light of this, as you were requested specifically to look into the allegations I had regarding my family and other personal matters, this all disappears as a part of the ongoing investigation as I see it, what I just said before I knew I wrote it. I'd like to reevaluate this deliberation again, but require more supportive documents to substantiate this technical detail. Meaning, Jim, all this could be on my side. I don't know what's going on. Please tell me what's going on but be on my side. Not you have to see it my way, but let me know if you're on my side. In any instance, if this avenue were pursued, meaning he's still collecting and then still on my payroll, it would certainly demand me to write a letter of apology to the ARDC immediately and withdraw my complaint and free you up from all that potential bureaucracy, if indeed there was any merit to my case to begin with. I'll let you go, but I'm going to keep pushing the ARDC with your license for lawyer. And I had a legitimate case. It's just the system doesn't work that way. Anyway, I've been known to have some misunderstandings before, and would undoubtedly accept this or another one of my bad. I'll blame it on me. Sometimes my memory is quite questionable too, but certainly not in all circumstances. I may be wrong, but I doubt it. Oh, Charles Barkley, you're funny sometimes. Maybe we should have done that one final phone conversation for clarification of the termination. But we are where we are. I sincerely apologize if I've erred in this manner. Could it not be clearer, not or, As you can imagine, this is why I feel freely to communicate here. I still have no idea where we stand, or if we're still on the same page, despite some rogue letters here and there that may have had more parties than necessary review them. It could all still be part of the original operation as I see it legally. I know the game. Well, I don't know how to play the game. I just know the game. Again, this isn't about money or accumulating information for me in a civil suit or anything of the like. I would never subject the Frobergs, or even the Stayskulls for that matter, into this form of public humiliation. Never. Nonetheless, if I find myself as a defendant in a courtroom environment, or if I have done something illegal, this is before the stakes, sending them to Van, I will be forced to protect myself to the best of my ability. I'll bet I'd prevail in any case. But I hear that's all crazy talk in some people's mind. Again, this is before the stakes going out, because I had to bump it up another notch. Again, if it were all about money, I wouldn't even contemplate pursuing factions like the Harris Bank representatives handling the Bob Trust, that's my grandmother, such as John Patterson, a Harris Bank guy, Chris McClear, and Robin Robinson, because they were provided that I had gone crazy by the Stayskulls. Oh, and I say that. I'm sorry. Who are all approached by Stayskulls one time or another. So I keep giving him more names and where they work and why. So, Jim, if you're on top of it, here are 3 more people that know that Stayskulls are going around telling everyone I'm crazy. So that's why I wrote it that way. Well, I look into what Stayskulls are doing. Here are 3 more names, and I put it in this letter, feeding him information that he can pursue and validate himself. Like I said, I'm cunning, but in a good way. We're all approaching one time or another. Oh, so all those Harris people who are all approached by Stayskulls at one time or another, beginning around the time of my mother's death in April '99. By all accounts, they received reports that I was a reclusive alcoholic who couldn't get a job, falling deeper into a state of delirium where it was virtually impossible for me to handle my financial affairs. In that letter to Nancy, Exhibit A, I believe the Harris issues were raised and vaguely summarized. I'm probably going to end up skimming those just so they're on record publicly. I'm tired of this. I just got to show people what you go through if you want to challenge Satan. Or let God take care of it. He will. Or you can try and do it yourself and be dumb like I was and do 10 more years, or almost 10 more years of misery. I swear, these people forget that I have a life that included interaction with people every day when they claimed I went crazy the first time, as I remained tormented with their accusations. That reads for itself. Quite possibly, you also ran across some some of this same dialogue when you were hired by me back in 2003 to free up the trust so that I could purchase this home in Pentwater. Conversely, as one could imagine, this is when I hired Jim to free up the Harris Bank, and he could have heard stories from Harris Bank saying, that dude's crazy, and then maybe Jim was thinking, now wait a minute, I've got Harris Bank telling me this guy's crazy, now Bob Froberg, my longtime friend, is telling me this guy's crazy, so maybe I am crazy. But given that, at this point, no, Jim, call it. I'm giving you justification for why at one point you may have thought I was crazy, but you gotta, no, not anymore. I'm not going to free you up. I got you involved as far up to this point. Make or break. Are you on my side or not? Anyway. Conversely, as one could imagine, if there was speculation that the discourse was true, it certainly could fuel your confusion over my character, which appeared to have been clouded by more of Bob Froberg's statements regarding my mental health history. Again, I should have read ahead. I explained what I was about to write. That's where attorneys must struggle, judging themselves with decisions between little-known clients, me, and friends of the family for over 30 years, the Frobergs. Jim, I'm giving you an out. Ironically, my aunt, Charlotte Spires, also placed concern for my ability to handle any fiduciary responsibility when the trust was terminated in June 2006, and expressed this to Robin, who in turn informed me some questions had been raised. So I tried to just liquidate the entire trust because I was getting nickeled and dimed. And then when Mick got fired, was round one of panic. So I just said, Harris Bank, quit dinking around. Just give me my money. I've got just cause. Just give me my money. My aunt found out, and then she ends up getting involved in telling Harris Bank that I can't handle my affairs because Miles fed Charlotte a bunch of crap going on, that I was freeing up this money, and had she done that, then she could have gotten a portion of the trust. So this is how wicked the evil goes. So my mother's sister gets involved, and I find out from Robin. There's some, I've got to ask some questions. And she said, other people are concerned about your health. Oh my God, people, it never stops. I'm thinking I've got the truth. Then I had to go be stupid. Continuing. The same scenario also occurred when I was not in attendance at the reading of my mother's final will. I got kicked out of the probate reading, or the probate court. The attorney there was informed I was incapable of handling myself as a result of alcohol, drugs, and of course mental issues. So that's why they kept me from attending the reading of the will. In all, it seems the Stayskull family members who are gravely concerned about money matters appear to have this false perception that I am crazy, among other degenerative qualities, whereas all I have are 2 bum knees and a crappy back at times. Again, whatever I lost out in my mother's will remains forever in question, $1.5 million. If there was anything lost to begin with, $1.5 million. No, it's not just about the money. Well, half of that. And I'll add something after. The acts that the Stayskulls have done to me have always been my focus. Now is the picture becoming clear to you, Jim Flood. So, when my mother was still alive and she beat the first round of cancer, well, God let her live a little bit longer. We'll call it like that. Yahweh, people. God. We're on a first name basis. He's Yahweh. And Carolyn lived. And when we were starting to get back into somewhat of a functional state, Carolyn, we were up at Lake Geneva, and this is back with Jane. Carolyn's still alive. I was only married to Jane. And we were up at Lake Geneva. Jokingly, my mother says, what did she say? Something about, if something happened, she said, if something happens to me, you and your brother get $1.5 million, or you guys have to split $1.5 million. And jokingly, I looked at Al and I said, hey, we got to talk after dinner. But she told us right then and there that she goes, her estate is $1.5 million. And if anything should happen to her, and she was jokingly, but she said, if anything happens to me, you guys get $1.5 million. So that's why I kind of ran with that number, because that's what Carolyn said her will was. And at that time, Miles was allegedly getting back together with Carolyn, and things were good, and we're all holding hands, singing Kumbaya, look at us everyone, we're the Brady Bunch, or the Cleavers, or whatever. Okay, continuing. One of the other significant problems that arose back in 2002, when it really seemed like the truth was going to break regarding my allegations against Miles Stayskull, was the interference of Ray Fisher, bringing him back on board about Ray. Remember Ray? You defended me against Ray. Refraining from passing judgment on that cunning, calculating slut. I guess I didn't pull punches. Subsequent to taking a polygraph investigation by Tom Richards, whereupon he concluded that there was definite merit to my statements against Ray and my father, all of a sudden I hear nothing from Tom Richards. I can only speculate that Ray, as an ex-girlfriend, validated a horde of the Stayskull phantasms, meaning Tom ended up calling Ray, and Ray said, the guy beat me when we were dating, and you guys, or after we were dating, and then Tom starts wondering what is going on with this Brian guy. I keep thinking I get a new team member. No, it's just another team member for the other side. When we were dating, Ray indicated that she was a psych major. Oh, I forgot about that. She was a psych major and a graduate from U of Chicago grad school. Google the name Ray Fisher and see what you get. Date of birth, July 17th, 1960. The last I heard, she had a scholarship at Washington University in St. Louis, which posted her resume. So I found out about that. The University of Bullshit was the only place I can find where she got her MBA with high honors. Never could get validation of her MBA. Maybe she attended those schools using her other social security number. I'll get to that. But the Stayskull certainly used her words as gospel against me without looking into her background for verification. Seems you just can't believe what some people say these days without checking the facts. So there. Oh, I gotta pause. So I just wanted to stick this in, because I forgot to do in the other ones, but just verifying nothing's been changed since I wrote it on the 15th was the last I had changed it. So even that was the other, I have to think about that, but I think I post-dated them or predated them, and I think I predated them, so in the event he called me up, I could tell him, just tear up the letter, because technically you haven't received it yet. Because I checked around dates, but I'd have a meaning behind it, where I gave the other person the benefit of the doubt. So I think I sent a, predated or posted, however that works, meaning this is next week's letter that I'm going to say I'm writing, and I'm giving it to you now, so if you call me, I'll tear it up, and whatever I send that letter that's going to push you over the edge, you can deny getting it or something. Like, you can't change dates. But that's why I think this is a week early. Because once I was done, final print, this stopped. And I had to go over to someone's house to fax this to Jim. Because I made sure it went electronically. And I didn't think I had email, but I made sure the first thing he saw when he walked into and I gotta see if that was a Friday or a Monday. Because I timed it, I thought for a Monday. So we'll see which October 15th. It was the 8th, 15th, and the 22nd, what day of the week that is, but I just wanted to show that was when it was changed. Hold on. So I just thought I'd stick this in randomly that this is the person that turned my life upside down, besides what I did. And before I give you a chance to really let it sink in, that this is where dark went dark for me, that I thought, this is the reason it's all happening. No, that's not Jill, but this was reality. But I just wanted to throw that in there that, this is what turned it bad. So just wanted to throw that in there. Quick interjection. I've got to keep you on your toes, keep you awake, make sure no one falls asleep out there. But I got to put out, it's just like, we're in the third quarter of crazy. It gets bad, and that was the person that Oh, God puts more people in my life, and I think that's the reason. No. But that's when it starts to get funny. But I was trying to get confirmation on when I sent these letters out, and it appears it was the 8th, 15th, and 22nd. So I guess I was sending them out on Wednesdays, so he'd get them by Friday. So he had the weekend to mull it over, I guess, and then I'd hear something by Monday, because I thought I was doing it for either a Friday arrival or a Monday. So I guess that was right. But I thought I would have post-dated it or pre-dated it. I don't know. But anyway, so that's how those dates fall out. So we'll go back. No more surprises like that for a sec. Yeah, we're the other side has to score like about 8 more touchdowns, and you'll get those. Getting back to the letter. I'd give anything to get Ray's recollection of events, but as you can imagine, she and I had a tad falling out when she put me in jail, whereupon you had to defend me. Once again, you are fairly cognizant of the general information supporting that case, where ironically, it was about money. My money. Maybe someday Ray could be contacted to get her version of events, and in return, be waived of any further responsibility of the outstanding debt. But in her mind and mine, I'll never see that money again, and will be dead long before anything catches up to her. Meaning, I'll even give Ray a get-out-of-jail-free card. And I had little get-out-of-jail-free cards made. I think I've got those somewhere. But anyway, so this last letter, even though I said there are 4 misses, I'll get to that. That I'm just like, I'm exhausted. The letter like this just doesn't fall into place. Well, maybe it did, I don't know. But it was like, I gotta get, this isn't working out like I thought. So, back to the letter. Simultaneous to Tom Richards, the PI, not returning my phone calls, Nancy's son, I was to understand that an intervention was planned with the Staskels and Ray. But got aborted when friends from out of town suddenly showed up and stayed at my apartment in Oak Park. I'm so glad I wrote this. You see, Ray and I had the same circle of friends back then, and she was equally spreading the Brian's Gone Crazy theme around. Hell hath no fury. So, I had set up that story about getting the intervention, and this is so cool. Do you guys see how this is getting out? I'm not putting this in order. Somebody else. Get that? Okay. Excuse me. That intervention, couple days before Matt, I tell Linda, I get a ride from Linda for the beer can on Wednesday night, and I tell her, I've got this cough. I tell her I have this strange feeling that Ray and my family are going to try and take me out of the picture so I miss the Mac. That's the only way they could get to me back then. And this is 2003, after I blew up at Miles and everything else. Then I, found out that Ray was on board with Miles, and she probably got compensated. I don't know that. I speculated. But Linda gives me a ride downtown to Columbia Yacht Club, and she goes, well, I'll give you a ride home. I said, well, just be careful, because Ray's going to be part of this, because she's going to loop me in somehow. And sure enough, now Ray and I are on the outs. We don't see or talk, or we run into it, or we pass each other at the yacht club. And is Mickey in this picture at this point? No Mickey. No Mickey at this point. So we do the beer can race, and afterwards, Ray goes up to Linda and says, I need a ride home. Can you give me a ride home? To Linda. Linda goes, sure. She goes, but gotta let you know, Brian, Brian came here with me, and, can you guys be okay in the same car? She said, I'm fine. I'm over that little dirtbag, so yeah, I'm fine. In fact, that's great that he's going to be there. And again, totally out of the norm for Ray to approach Linda, because it wasn't too soon before that Ray tried to run over Linda at the Jewel parking lot. So they had no bond at this point, because after Ray and I split apart, Linda and I were friends, and that drove Ray crazy. So out of the blue, she approaches Linda and says, can you give me a ride back to Oak Park? It's Linda tells me. I said, perfect. I told you. It's like, I told you, Linda. She goes, I know. Tell me what to do. I said, just bring us back. So what Ray did not know, is, before I left, I put a note on my front door, and it said, Heidi and Jeff, I had to go do a beer can, but I'll be back, and sorry I couldn't let you in, or either I said, come on in, or sorry I didn't let you in, or plan ahead, but come back later on, and you can stay the night, or something to that effect, alluding that people are going to be staying at my place with that note on the door. So Linda gives Ray and I a ride home, and all the way back, Linda's saying, Ray, I'll drop you off first, because I live more toward Brian. She's like, no, just drop Brian off first. So Linda had to go out of her way to drop me off, and then go to the other side of town to drop Ray off, and come back to on my side of the town where Linda lived. And she goes, no, that's out of the way. I'll just drop you off first. And Ray kept saying, no, just drop Brian off first. And so I'm kind of nudging. And I think Ray's in the back seat. I can't remember if I alpha dogged her and sat in the front. Well, it's kind of irrelevant, but I would have done the alpha dog in the front seat. And so Linda goes, all right, I'll drop Brian off first. And Linda's kind of looking at me like, should I do anything? I said, I didn't say, hey, the plan's going to fall apart, just keep going, because Ray's in the back seat. So we pull up, and Ray's like, she's got her hands between the seat, leaning forward like she's going to see a bunch of cars and lights on and all these people standing at the front of the apartment building, and no one's there. And she's just like, can you just take me home? And I swear to you that they had this intervention set up, and as soon as Ray didn't see other people out front, that it was blown, and Linda dropped me off. I asked her afterwards, and she goes, yeah, Ray was just kind of freaked out, like, she just didn't even want to be there. I said, I told you what was going to happen. She goes, yeah, it was weird, because and Ray never talked to Linda after that. But out of the blue, I know that they were going to do an intervention. Take me out of the MAC, I would have lost my mind. Denial. Then we've gotten the third person. Oh my God, this guy is crazy because he just came back from beer can. And I can't remember if I didn't drink. It would have been me to either drink, have a couple beers, and provoke the other side, or absolutely have nothing to drink and use that as my defense. But I didn't want to be out of the norm. So I don't remember what I did. But either of those two options were something I would do. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I was like. And then I kind of got a little wind of something was going on that night. Anyway, so that's what that is. So I got that story out of the way. Don't have to tie up that loose end. So, back to the letter. Quite possibly, you also ran across the same dialogue when you were hired back in 2004 to defend me at the bench trial in Cook County Court, getting back with Ray, where she was attacking me. Conversely, as one could imagine, if there was speculation that the discourse did occur, meaning Ray actually was assaulted by me, it certainly could fuel your confusion over my character, which appeared to have been clouded by some of Bob Froberg's subjective opinions since last year. Or was it much earlier than that my integrity was growing more questionable? Meaning, Jim, I understand, you heard more and more stories about me, and I can see your question of my character being unknown. So I'm giving you an out at this point, because you're on retainer, buddy. This is your career potentially. Back to Larry. That's where attorneys must struggle, judging themselves with decisions between little-known clients and friends of family for over 30 years. But I'm repeating myself almost verbatim here, only because copy-paste commands are easier to do for consistency. Because I'm telling them exactly what I did before. You don't know, you didn't know me, you weren't sure, but you know who I am now. Consistency, what a concept, meaning their story changes, mine stays the same. Maybe I stop. Guys are probably a lot smarter than I'm giving credit to. But no one's raising any questions. I don't hear any. The stories of Stayskull interferences are countless. Oh, they are countless. Finally, I'll add what was occurring last year at this time, which not only completes this set of circumstances going full circle, it appears that history will always repeat itself till the goddamn BS money merry-go-round gets obliterated. So, I'd entertain the idea to pick up where we left off if that's acceptable to you. Unfortunately, there's just a little bit more.